Hi everyone, Virginia Warren here, lawyer and conflict alchemist, and co-founder of Lawyers for Love. Lawyers for Love offer a new perspective on how to look at life. So that's why I'm here today, because I think it's really funny. We have all these people at the moment predicting our futures. 2020 was a strange old year, and I think people are looking at 2021 from the point of view that something else is going to happen. And there's interesting predictions going on everywhere, from how our money system's going to collapse, how our systems are going to collapse, and what that's all going to look like. And then, of course, we've got vaccines and when are things going to be over, like COVID, when it's going to finish. You can't tell the future. This is the funny thing. Everyone's relying on all this data that's streaming in from news sources and everywhere else to try and find out what the future holds. So, how do you find out the future? For me, look, I've got a crystal ball here, right? I love my crystal ball, but it ain't telling me nothing. I can stare into it as much as I want and ask it for the answers, and I can go to psychics and look at my astrology. But it's all a matter of interpretation. All of this is interpretation. You're looking at the news, and what's it feeding you? It's feeding you fear. And as it's feeding you all this fear, you're creating more fear for yourself. So you're seeing the world as dangerous, and you're seeing ways to protect yourself. But you can't. You cannot protect yourself. You cannot see into the future. Many people have tried. You didn't see COVID coming. Nobody saw that. Nobody's going to know what's going to happen tomorrow. There are flavors of how things feel, but that's the whole point. How does it feel? What does everything feel like? You see, for all of our lives, we've been relying on our parents or something outside of us to give us the answers to what to do next. But what's true? Everyone's got a different truth. And we've been fooled into trying to believe someone else's truth is true for us. We've just recently seen in politics the great divide in a nation about what's true for one person is not true for another. But whose true is right? Everyone's truth is right for them. And that's the big deal here. What you see as true for you is really true for you. But it's in this moment. We can't discount what someone else is doing. It's not our issue. We are here to take care of what we're doing for ourselves. We are here on our own journey. We need to really stop looking at what other people are trying to tell us as what's true or not true, what we can do to prepare for tomorrow. We look at these news stories, and if you've studied the news really carefully, and look, I've switched off basically. I just keep in touch with a little bit of what's going on in the world so I can get an idea if people are talking about something, keep informed, yes, but rely on it for information, no. The other day I saw, I'm in Queensland here, and I saw a storm warning, and I looked at the news on the news on the internet, and it showed our storm as this massive storm, and people were really concerned about everyone. It wasn't anything like it, and we were here. And I thought, wow, that is what the news is telling people, the fearful stories to sell you, to bring you back in. People are motivated. They're connected to the fear. How can I protect myself? How can I be safe? How can I protect myself and my family from the future? You only have now. That's it. So the big deal is, how do you work out what to do next? We grew up under a parental guidance system. Now it's time to take back our own power, and it's time for us to say, I've got to guide myself. I've got to guide myself through the next steps of my life. I did that in 2020, and I, frankly, people don't like to hear it, but I had one of the best years of my life because that was my reality. It didn't come without its challenges, let me tell you that. But it's how you react to the world. How you're reacting to the world is what you get back. Now, people say, people talk about karma. If you do something bad, bad will come back to you. But it's more than that. It's if you are perceiving the world in a certain way, if you're seeing everything as fearful and negative, that's actually what you get. That is your reality. If you want to keep living from that place of fear, you are going to have a fearful life. That is your future. You are the one in control of it. You are predicting your future. You are that powerful. As soon as everyone realizes they have their own power and not to look outside for what to do next, as I say, be informed, understand what's going on, look at the guidelines around you, and then feel what is right for you. It all comes down to how you're feeling. Everything does. We're disconnected from how we feel. You can predict your future by how you're feeling. So if you're saying, well, I'm feeling really bad, everything seems bad to me, it will be bad. It's not simpler than that. If you look at the news and it terrifies you, you will be terrified of your future. But if you talk to somebody that maybe gives you some positive ideas of how to approach these things, these challenges we're facing, then you can look at it from, oh, wow, this is my life. This is an interesting challenge. Now, I know we all really don't love the drama and we would like a little bit of certainty, but the only certainty you have is now. This is it. And often if you just sit in now and say, how am I right now? Am I safe? Yes, I'm. That's mostly true. Try it. The guidance system you have is how you feel. So if you are feeling negatively in a moment, sit with it. Do not push it away. It's informing you of something is up. I am responding to my world in a negative sense. And if you're responding that way, that's what you're going to get back. So when you're responding in a negative way, say, why am I feeling like it? But do feel it. That's the very first thing. This is what humanity did before COVID. Pre-COVID, we ran off and we did shopping and ate chocolate and drank alcohol and did all those wonderful things, and we're still doing it. Most of us, a lot of us, some of us, I don't know, some of you are. But for the relief from your feelings, you weren't locked into how do I feel? You weren't shut down to that. This is what COVID did for us. This is really quite metaphysical, and I'm not going to be sorry for saying it anymore. We have to look at a different way of ourselves. This is what our future looks like. If we connect to who we are energetically, we're going to see things from an energetic perspective. You were shut down in COVID to work out how you felt. Some of us were fortunate enough to find ourselves in that space. Others went crazy. And that's okay. Everything is perfect. But what is the missed opportunity is if you didn't sit with how you felt through all of that. If you didn't sit with how you felt in that situation, you missed a great opportunity. Some people I hear are even missing, oh, gee, now we're not locked down. I can't go on with that project because they've got all these expectations externally. Again, you're using your future based on someone else's expectations, on what other people think, there's things I should. Why you should still. You have no obligation to anyone but yourself. And some people say that's irresponsible. No, put your own oxygen mask on first. You have to start feeling good for you first. This is how your future is going to look beautiful. Invest in you. Everyone's talking about gold, silver, Bitcoin, all these things, all this money. It's going this way, that way. People talked about what was going to happen with the inauguration and all sorts of amazing things people predicted. None of it has happened so far. I think we're being punked, frankly, so that we're all listening to all these stories and we're scattered. Rather than coming back to what is true for ourselves. Because we've been given too much information and too much conflicting information, and everybody's information that they're giving you is for they're investing in themselves when they're giving you the information. They don't care about you. They're on their own journey. So for you, it's coming back to invest in yourself. I do. It's the biggest investment I have. And the investment is, how do I feel? This is my life. Life is a series of moments. That's it. And every moment, the one you are having right now, is special because it's all that exists. That's the future. It is now, every moment. So if you string all those nows together with good feelings or finding why you're feeling negative, then you're going to have the best life you can. And when they are the negative moments, they're the best opportunities. They're the opportunities that you're looking for to challenge yourself to how you respond to your life. You can keep running, that's a choice. But if you're not standing up to those challenges, you're never shifting, you're never growing. This year, I believe, will be full of challenges because everything has shifted. We're all working differently, we're communicating differently. Look at me, I'm sitting here doing this, and this was terrifying for me. And I thought, how am I going to do this sort of thing? But I thought, well, I'm just going to do it and see what happens. I don't care about being judged. I don't care about anything. But I feel I have a message to share with people, so I'm sharing it. Because I feel like if I can feel good at every challenge, and my 2020 was very challenging for many reasons that I won't speak about so much now, but I will in the future. But it's been totally awesome. It's defined who I am. And when I say this, it's people want to know, well, why do I want to grow and expand? Isn't it nicer just to sit at home and just be safe, or just hang out with my friends, or just go down the pub and drink all afternoon? That's a choice. They're all choices. You do whatever you want. But if you're not feeling satisfied, because you'll still be feeling that underlying negativity, if you're feeling that, there's something to work with. You can then go into the challenge and say, this is the negative emotion is basically rules you've created for yourself when you were young. Under parental guidance, parents told you to live a certain way. And that certain way, it reduced your choices in life. Because if you didn't do them a certain way, they'd reject you. They were unhappy, you'd get into trouble, whatever. So you created little rules for yourself. Okay, don't do this or that will happen. It's a little program and a little if-then argument. So you have to go back and find where you created those rules so that you understand what happened for you, why you've now restricted your ability to move forward in life. And it is painful because people don't want to sit in pain. But I like to assimilate it to when you get an upgrade on your phone, and I use an iPhone. So if I get an upgrade on my phone, it's like, oh no, I've got to go through and learn all these new controls again. But the thing is, if I didn't upgrade, if I didn't go through the pain of that upgrade, learning where things are again, I'd be left behind. I'd be stuck in the old normal. I wouldn't expand, I wouldn't grow, and eventually I get cut off from the rest of society. And that's what's happening to so many people out there now. Their futures are looking really disconnected. They're saying they want to blame somebody else for how they're feeling. Well, guess what? Reality check, people. You feel how you feel because you're feeling it. No one can make you feel anything. It's your reaction to life that it is your life. We are here to experience all of it. If you don't experience all of it, you are missing out and you don't get to feel that contentment. This group I formed, Lawyers for Love, we're basing all new decisions, all the decisions now, in how you're feeling about it. Stop blaming somebody. Your reality is how you are reacting. So a legal problem, for example, is the perfect opportunity for you to see how you're reacting to the world. You've got a conflict with somebody. Most people want to blame somebody for that. Now, the future of any conflict that you have, and we see so many conflicts out there at the moment. There was conflicts about whether to wear masks, whether not, whether to vaccinate, whether not to. Ultimately, none of it matters. What matters is, and I'm not endorsing anything, I go with every time how I feel in each moment, because that can shift. Life is momentary. And this is the big thing. We're too busy trying to predict futures. That's why I think it's so funny. I thought I'd come on and just do future predictions. Yeah, your future is going to be exactly how you feel it is going to be. That's it, full stop. Remember that one, and your future it will turn out exactly as if you've requested it to. Fearful or not fearful. So we're working with this idea of the realities that we're feeling. So whenever you're feeling a negative feeling, the important part for you is to sit in it. And people don't want to do that, but this is the pain you're going through to get the upgrade. You sit through it and work out what am I to experience in this moment, because my life is just a series of moments. Lawyers for Love are taking your legal conflicts and doing that for you, saying, okay, we have two people fighting here. And we're talking, I'm only speaking in this moment about a conflict that you have with others. So if you're going into a conflict with somebody else, people are looking at that person and saying, oh, you've made me feel like this. You've ruined my life. You've done all this to me. You promised me this and that. No one owes you anything. Newsflash. That's the news. Nobody owes you anything. You owe yourself, if you care, to feel better. You owe yourself to check in with how you're feeling. And I will explain more about how to get to that more content feeling place, because as you're dissolving these negative emotions, and you have to feel them first, that's when you come back to a place of contentment. I liken it to a pencil box. For example, when we were young, we would play with our pencils. We might have a set of 12 pencils and they have all the colours, and we go to colour in something and we want to colour in the blue sky, and our parents take away the blue pencil. Oh, we don't use blue here. Now, blue could mean blue for sadness. We don't get sad here, especially boys. Boys don't cry. Be tough, be a man. Don't show any emotion. So effectively, you moved on through life as a child now thinking, okay, well, we don't use blue. That's fine. That's the rule. Don't use blue. Don't express sadness. Don't be emotional. We can't colour in the whole picture, can we? We're not our authentic self. There's no contentment. We go out into the world looking for fulfillment then. We're looking to have a pencil box filled up, and we keep looking for that. Discontent. And discontentment is an element of fear. All there is in this world is love or fear. That's the two energies. Now, they express themselves in various ways. Love is joy, happiness, giggling, fun, excitement. Fear is jealousy, greed, all those things. I probably don't need to explain it to you too much. But to have the full pencil box means contentment. You are in a place of love, and people wonder what that word love means. It's given them pain. But that's a different kind of love. That's the expression of, oh, this is a nice feeling. I feel like I'm in love with somebody. And that's another topic I'll get onto in deep conversation about love, because it's a good one to talk about so people can get a bit better grasp on it. But essentially, being content and being at peace is the place of being in love. And it's your experience only. It's nothing to do with anybody else. So to blame someone about how you're feeling, blame someone else for taking your pencil. You can sit there and cry as much as you want. You can be a victim as much as you want. Oh, that's right, you weren't allowed to cry. So you'll get angry, or you'll react. Someone else has got my pencil. But you know where to find it. It's where the negative emotion is. And we're too busy looking at everybody else saying, my life would be better if you behaved differently. We're seeing it out there at the moment in many countries that are arguing about which ways to go and who's right, who's wrong. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. Everyone's perspective is true for them. And that is the starting point. If we can have a future where we see that everybody's perspective is true for them, we've taken a huge leap forward. We've effectively taken a negative charge out of an argument. When I can say, gee, I understand how you see that. I don't necessarily agree with you. I don't necessarily agree with what you're doing, but I see how you can see that, because I see mine my way. And I like pineapple. And someone mightn't like pineapple. And I say, well, I like it, so should you. Why should they? They shouldn't have to like it because I do. I might find it difficult to understand because I think it's the best fruit on the planet, but you don't. That's not a good argument, is it? You must like it because I do. So I say, oh, I respect the things you like. I mightn't like the same. And that way we can coexist at least, rather than all these unnecessary fights. And the people are feeding on fear. The people that are controlling this society are feeding on your fears. The legal system is feeding on your fears. You've projected your parent out there and you're still looking to your parent for guidance. So your future depends greatly on whether you are seeking still parental guidance or self-guidance. Self-guidance is the way to that content life that you're probably looking for. So I really want to thank you for listening to all that and thinking about futures like this. When we're seeing all this confusing information, this fearful approach to, everything's coming down, the world's going to look so different, great. Or not, doesn't matter. Your world will look exactly how you choose it to look. You can take every step to make every post a winner for yourself if you choose, and you must make the choices, your choice only. So what I'm going to be doing is every once a week, I think, who knows the future, I don't know. Once a week, I'm going to be taking questions from people and answering questions from, say, a legal perspective. And it's not legal advice, but because the way I see it, you don't need a legal system. If you choose to react to the world under your own steam, even if somebody is a bully or somebody is hurting you or whatever it is, there are reasons behind this, and it's going to come through unfiltered. So if you want some alternate advice on how to approach your life from this perspective and get the best value out of your life and profit from your life, invest in yourself, profit from your life, I can give you some guidance. So tune in. I'll be doing some lives and answering some particular questions like, maybe bullying or harassment and all sorts of fabulous questions. And I get the scariest questions. I get the questions about rape, murder, all the most difficult ones, psychopaths, everything. The answer's still the same, but I'll show you how to frame it. And I'm not being naive. This is just reality. You are responsible for you only. So I really hope you do tune in. Just hit subscribe if you're on YouTube at the moment, and the bell, the little bell thing, whatever they say. And so you get notifications of what's coming up. But I do welcome any questions whatsoever. If you've got a conflicted point of view, it could be as small as you want, as big as you want. And I'll give it to you from a metaphysical perspective of how this planet can move forward with better decision-making from the self, from your self-guidance and not parental guidance. That's the future. Thank you all so much. Till next time.